Hello, everybody, and welcome to Your Inner Journey Weather Forecast, in which we utilize archetypal astrology to understand the energies we might encounter in our own psychedelic journeys this week, or if we are sitting for another in their psychedelic journeys this week. So let's have a look at this week. This is the week of September 12th to September 18th. And we'll have a look here at Archetypal Explorer. So Archetypal Explorer here is showing us that the two major transits that we have up at the moment are Sun opposite Neptune, which is at the beginning of the week, which is now, and Venus square Saturn, which is later in the week, towards the end of the week. So let's get into those two. Let's start with Sun Neptune. So Sun Neptune energy can show up in a few different ways, several different ways actually. Some of the major ways it can show up is that one way is that the sun is associated with our sense of identity, the I, the me, also kind of our energy level and our energetic imprint on the world, which we could think of as kind of like our mission, our purpose, how we shine, how we're unique, and how we shine our light upon the world. Neptune is the archetype that is associated with the infinite planes, the dream realm, the realm of the imagination, the sky, the ocean, the realms of infinity, in which the linear mind does not make as much sense in those planes because there's no up, there's no down, there's no right, there's no left, there's no center. So when the sun transits Neptune, we can feel that there's a kind of like our sense of identity can feel a bit diffuse. Our energy level can feel a bit diffuse. Our sense of purpose and mission and how we're shining in the world can feel a bit disoriented because of that kind of infinitude of Neptune. And the positive sides, one of the positive sides of this transit is that it's actually encouraging us to get in touch with a sense of identity and a sense of purpose in the world and a sense of kind of mission in the world that is not as ego-centered. It's not as centered, it's not as centralized on the ego, on the I, the me. It's a little bit more driven by the collective kind of archetypal sphere of imagery and inspiration and divine inspiration. So there can be a sense, we might feel kind of washed out, our energy levels washed out, our sense of purpose is washed out, but then as we sit with this energy, especially in psychedelic experience, actually what's happening is that we're getting in touch with that we're guided, that we're not so much leading the way in a centralized egocentric way, but we're more flowing through. Our identity is fluid, our sense of mission is fluid, and we're kind of guided by more subtle aspects of reality, more Neptunian aspects of reality, more intuitive aspects of reality. Also with Neptune transits, we can have an idealization of masculine figures. George Clooney, born with Sun Neptune. Russell Brand's born with Sun Neptune. These kind of idealized masculine figures, we can have encounters with them in psychedelic journeys. We can have an encounter with kind of the ideal masculine or the ideal solar guiding principle. Again, what we want to do there is we want to be able to touch that energy as a principle, not so much get it focused on a particular person. Because if we were to get it focused on a particular person like Russell Brand or George Clooney or some person we know or some kind of father figure or some leader figure, that is being focused on a human being in this kind of, in the realm of imperfection and human error. That Neptunian shine can be like a kind of an illusion, basically, an illusion. So what we want to do is we want to be more in touch with it as a principle, that there is a kind of a divine guiding principle that is solar, that is warm, that is shedding light. And we were, it's an opportunity to get in touch with that. Okay, so the second transit, as you may remember, I'll share my screen again here, is that it's Venus square Saturn. Okay, so let's talk about Venus square Saturn. That really comes to its peak towards the latter half of the week. So Venus Saturn is an interesting energy in our psychedelic journeys. If we're journeying ourselves or we're sitting for another, It can show up when it first comes in, it can show up as a sense of almost like heartbreak because of the energy of Venus being associated with pleasure, harmony, the heart, love. Love is a harmonious an energy of feeling that we've struck a common chord and feeling a sense of value, that we feel love, that we place value on somebody else, somebody places value on us. And Saturn is the energy of negation of the reality principles of life, the limitations of life. And sometimes we can feel separated from our love, or we can feel the loss. We can feel real loss. Or we can be sitting for somebody in their psychedelic experience that encounters a real sense of loss, or sense of losing somebody else in their love, or maybe losing their own sense of feeling lovable. And we just want to be with these energies in that kind of archetypal mindfulness way, almost like mindfulness meditation, just be with these energies because they have a lesson for us. When we allow them to be, then we allow them to move through time and through our experience and through us. And we're vehicles for that energy to move and to show its strength and its beauty. The strength and beauty of Venus Saturn is, Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You song that she sang, written by Prince, which I'll provide the link for here so you can hear it yourself. Is a song of heartbreak, but it also in the end shows that it's a song of appreciation. When we're separated from someone, actually there's a sense of actual gratitude and appreciation for what life gives us and what we place value on. The value actually increases with the heartbreak. There's a realization of true value. Saturn associated with truth, Saturn associated with value. And to some extent also, Russell Crowe, the gladiator, he was born with Venus Saturn. In that movie, he loses his family and he's kind of driven by heartbreak throughout the film. But in the end, it's a similar journey. It's a journey of realizing what he truly valued, what he really valued in life. So that can show up in the journey. Again, it all depends on where it lands in your birth chart, but these are energies in the collective and you might experience them. These are world transits for everybody. Everybody's going to be going through this. You'll see it in the news and you may encounter it in your psychedelic journeys. So again, that sense of heartbreak, of loss, but actually a grounding of the heart and a realization of what we really value and what we really appreciate. And so those are the major transits for this week. We're going to have more interesting transits next week. And so I appreciate you being here with me on your Inner Journey weather forecast. Once again, I'm James Moran, archetypal astrologer. I hope you have a wonderful week filled with all types of insight and opening and groundedness and just beautiful experiences. And I look forward to being with you next week. Thank you.